Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Will WC Review coming at you on a beautiful Sunday, the last day of March, the 31st. Can't believe we're almost into April already. Please forgive the background noise. My wife is working hard vacuuming while I'm up here making videos. But I wanted to talk with you about my growing collection of my absolute favorite brand, hands down. I've made other videos. Are they the best of the best? To me, they are just, in every way, the best. Just class, appearance, workmanship, material, and made in the USA. So this was my very, very first Medford. This is a Proxima. It's blue anno, and it's S35VN. For those of you that don't know, the type of blade steel is denoted on the blade there, and I'll go through the other ones right next to the logo. Sometimes there are serial numbers on the blade or on the scales. You'll see throughout the collection that differs and changes. And I have actually learned over time that the serial numbers do not always match either. I mean, it's pretty rare, in fact, if they do. And when I have a better view of a serial number, I'll explain how they work in case you don't know. Many of you probably do. But this is my first, as I mentioned, my first Medford ever, the Proxima. I got it from Arizona Custom Knives. And I'm about to send this back to, not send it back, but send it out to Medford for their legacy program. I am going to have this all DLC coded, all blacked out. Listen, it's a great program that they offer. You can send in your Medford knife as long as it's in somewhat unmodded condition, and they will, for a fee, change anything you want. And I promise you, when you get it back, it's like a whole brand new Medford knife. So without belaboring the point too long on this one knife, this is my first Medford, a Medford Proxima, okay? Then the next knife happens to be my favorite Medford, and I believe the next one in the succession, and it's the En Belay. This is an I don't know what do they call it, a Terminator, but it's all stainless satin with bronze hardware. And once I get the hardware, this is also, it's very faint, but there's an S right there. It's S35VN steel. Then I got another En Belay. This one is all blacked out. This is the DLC. I don't know if this is DLC or their old PVD coating, so forgive me if I'm incorrect on either one of those. Also S35VN. And there's the serial number, okay? It happens to be 201130, right? So the 2 means it was made in 2022. The 01 means it was made in January. And that means, I believe this is the 130th, 130 is the 130th production of this piece. And that's how their serial numbers work. It's got flamed hardware, flamed over travel. And this is one of my favorites. I really, really love this knife. It opens and closes like it's on bearings, like it's on ball bearings. As you well know or may not know, all of these are phosphor bronze washers, and Medford in general has made me a lover of the phosphor bronze washer over bearings. I happen to like bearings, but bronze washers are the way to go, in my opinion. Okay, so that's my second En Belay. On to the third and final En Belay. Another great, beautiful knife. This is bronze with an S45. As you can see, the 4 denotes S45. And this is one of my favorite finishes on a blade. I don't know if it's called tumbled. As you can see, it is an absolute fingerprint magneto. But titanium hardware, all, silver titanium hardware. But just a great, great knife. I mean, how Harley Davidson patented their sound? Well, Medford, I'm not saying they should, but I'm just saying when you open a Medford, when you hear a Medford, there's a certain clunk, a certain sound where you can honestly say to yourself or others, that's a Medford. And you'll know it when you feel it, if you feel it. I recommend to anyone in the knife game, definitely check out a Medford. The next one was a trade from my buddy Satu Dave. A wonderful trade as it was. This is the Marauder H. And this is in my new favorite blade steel, 3V. And as you can see, it's denoted by a 3 on the blade. All DLC coated, regular hardware. I don't know if regular is the word, but not stainless steel, titanium hardware, excuse me. Just a great knife. Great in the hand. There is a little bit of play in there. This is another one I want to send back and have just corrected. But a beautiful knife, a beautiful trade. Next in line is the TFF1. I'm completely firing from the hip here, guys, so forgive me if I stutter and stammer. Also in 3V, DLC coated with the blue anno and blacked out hardware, also DLC coated. I got this for a great price on DLT trading. If you hunt around and you wait long enough, I got it brand new for $600. This is a great, great knife. I do carry this. In fact, I carry all of these. A lot. I carry all of them very frequently, and if I have a use, I use them as well. So the TFF1, the smaller version of the Fat Daddy. They make an H version, which is the thick handle scales like the Fat Daddy with the thinner blade. And I did have a Fat Daddy at one time that I wound up trading to Satu Dave. In fact, I got that Marauder H and another knife. I believe it was a Direware for that knife, the Fat Daddy. And I don't regret it at all trading it, but I do want another Fat Daddy back again. So TFF1, beautiful knife. Now, speaking of Satu Dave, this is the Medford Fighter Flipper. This knife is not mine. However, I did want to show it off. DLC coated. Dave uses all his knives. So when he sent this to me, it had all scuffs and scars on the blade because he uses it. I cleaned it up a little, and the knife looks brand new. Again, the serial number on this is 04025. So you can say that this knife is from 2020, April of 2020, and this is number 25 of blade production. Again, if anyone knows differently, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my understanding of how they do their blades in S35VN. There's another one, so this would also be 2020, April, and scale 25. In fact, I said it was rare. The serial numbers match on this knife. DLC, all DLC hardware, bronze handle, bronze titanium, and again, the S45 drop point blade. Now, I like this knife so much, and it just so happened that my pal Ryan had a fighter flipper that he wanted to get rid of, and Willie said, I will take it. This is the, what is this called? I'm going to forget it now. Not Apocalypse. There's a name for it, and it'll come to me, but this is in S45. What the frick is it called? Oh, I can't think of it. I hate not being able to recall stuff on film. But it's some kind of disaster. No, not Apocalypse. Anyway, let's keep going. I don't want to wait too long, but I promise you I'll get that name of what it is. But this is very cool. This is one of the knives that I'm going to send in. And I believe I'm going to get the handle scales in satin. I want the blade black DLC coated or PVD, whichever it is. And I want the hardware blacked out as well. It's already blacked out, but there's a different kind. Scorched Earth. Thank you. That's what it is. It just came to me. It's called Scorched Earth. And it's an exclusive from Knife Joy. I don't know how I remembered that, but if I relaxed and stopped trying to think about it, it came to me. This is called Scorched Earth, and it's an exclusive from Knife Joy, as I just mentioned. The one thing I really do kind of like is the handle, but the blade I'm not too crazy about, but it's a knife. If you haven't handled one, I highly recommend it. It's a little boxy, it's a little bulky, but it's a Medford, and I absolutely love it. I'm happy that I got it, and thank you, Ryan, for the great deal. Okay, moving right along. My very first of the flagship knife from Medford is the Praetorian. Now, this is a Praetorian T, okay, and it's got the flamed scales. You can tell that it's a T for many reasons. First of all, by the thickness, the 190 thousandths blade, and I believe they're 125 thousandths handle scales. And this is another dead giveaway just as appearance. You'll see that, and I'll show you in a moment, that there's a difference between the T and the tie. The T has this type of fuller on it. Again, this is my favorite blade finish, and I believe it's tumbled titanium, got flamed hardware, and the bronze lock face with the flame clip and over travel stop. But what was I saying? Oh, dead giveaways on whether the T or the tie. You can see very clearly when I show you. I have one left, and obviously I'm giving away what it is, the coup de grace. Actually, I have one after that, but this is the Praetorian T. And my first one, I absolutely love this knife. I don't carry it very much. So I would consider trading this one, but on to the last one that is a matching knife and my first ever Praetorian tie. Now, this knife will never, ever leave me. It is my number one favorite of them all. And if I just spin this around, you can see why. I mean, it's got the flamed handle scales, flamed hardware. And if you see now, I can show you the ball type of fuller versus the flat type on the T. This is the T, this is the tie. And clearly the thickness. But if you're just looking at it from a side in a photograph, you really can't tell. So if someone's telling you, hey, I got this Prey tie I want you to see, you could say, hey, that's not a tie, that is a T, because I'm looking at the fuller. So again, both of these happen to be in 3V, and this is the Vulcan blade finish, and this is the third and final knife that I wish to send in for the legacy. I want to have this blade turned into the tumbled, shiny blade, and they do that for a fee. So this is pretty much my flagship knife, my favorite. I will never, ever get rid of this. I shouldn't say never, ever. As of right now, I don't ever, ever want to get rid of this knife. I absolutely love it. It is the epitome of a tank of a knife. It's not light, but I don't care about that. The sturdiness of this knife, you could literally chisel a cinder block apart with this knife. Not that you'd ever want to do that with this knife, but you could if you had to. It is not going anywhere. This knife will go to my grandchildren if I so decide to keep it, and my son decides to keep it, and yada, yada, yada. But my point is, the knife will certainly outlast me. I love it. It's the best of the Medfords that I have, and I think it's one of the best knives in the world as far as folders go. With that said, I have one final Medford to my collection. If you're still with me, you could always fast forward through these. And this is my fixed blade Medford, and it's called the Deep. As you can see, the Kydex sheath has the little titanium marker of Medford Knife and Tool, which is awesome. And it's got this little thumb push, but boom, there's the blade. This is in 20 CV. This is a dive knife. So 20 CV is very, very anti-corrosive, and it's also in the 0.26 thickness. So you can see that this is what some would call a sharpened pry bar. Really, really, really nice in hand, good weight. It's a good EDC. It came with a pocket clip, and in my first review, I completely was incorrect in the things that I was saying. I was saying you couldn't turn it into scout carry. You can. I really bashed the clip, the Tech Lock clip that it came with. It's just not for me. So I did remove it, but disregard everything I said about it because I was wrong. You can make it into scout carry, excuse me. I just didn't care for it. So, and the fit, again, with Medford, it's very tight. There is no rattle whatsoever. So this rounds out my Medford collection. I absolutely love the maker. I love Greg. I love Amy. I really love everything about the company, and I will continue to be a customer of theirs for many, many years to come. So thank you for making the best knives on earth, and thank you if you're still here for looking at my collection. Have a great day. Thanks.